So the next one's up. Gonna be blue and white. Just I'm not sure the size of the hook on this, but I know that's a 16th ounce. Blue and white, powder coated, round ball jig head. It don't get any more simple than this tie right here. Other than we're gonna be using UV resin and a UV light. But we're gonna be using this blue hackle. It's good hackle. It's not quite as sharp on the tips as I like, but it does the job. It works. I am getting all my hackle strictly from now Moose Tackle. You can find them on Facebook, and if you go to look them up and you order something from them, tell him I sent you. And this is really good hackle. Of course, the jig head, y'all know where that comes from. Jason Bremwell. That's where I get all my jig heads, all of them. I did that order with the eye holder. Those didn't come from Jason. Those came from another customer that wanted me to tie those up. They were headed to Mississippi. He was having a hard time keeping plastics on them. Not because of the design of the jig head, but because of the size of the crappie he was catching in Mississippi. So that's where those came from. So as far as I know, Jason don't have that mold, which, you know, these are the ones I'm talking about, are like this right here. Put that crappie nibble down inside that hole, and it holds a little bit longer, lasts a little bit longer. Fish are less likely to knock it off. But those are actually from the store, and a customer sent them to me, wanted me to tie them up. So that's where those jig heads come from. And I get a lot of people asking me about stacking hackle and V's. I don't do V's. I don't do V's simply because I can't hold it together. I can't place it right. It don't work out. Falls off, blows away. So I don't stack my V's. I tried. It was a headache, and it slowed me way, way down. So I use the tips of the feathers, and then what I got left go in big Ziploc bags. And then I'll have some people that tie flies, and I will send them those bags. Or I will use them in really small crappie jigs. 100th ounce, 64th ounce, 32nd of an ounce. And that way on. And we'll do some videos. We'll do some bluegill jigs with those, and I'll show you what I do with the leftovers. And there's videos back before. There's some videos in my library. If you go back and scroll through, you'll see what I do with my leftover hackle. So we got it tied on to the neck, got our thread wrapped. We're only going to go about 1/4 inch. This is going to be a UV resin coated crappie jig. So there's our 2 hackles. I'm going to cut them right there, just like that. That should give me plenty. My first wrap, being that the way those feathers are shaped, I'm going to turn them like this, and I'm going to try to keep it to where it's running up on the back of that jig head. Let's give it a try. And we're going to wrap more right there at the head because I want to build up that taper. So if you're working on this style bait, always put more thread right there behind the head, and then go down, come back up, wrap longer. You get the picture. So what color are we going to add in this next? I got blue, I got white. I don't want to add white hackle to it. I want to add something that stands out. Something that just makes it pop a little bit more. I'm going to throw in a red hackle, but now sitting here looking at it, what I'm going to do is put in just a couple more blue ones. Let's go with these 2 right here. We're going to pull these 2 out. We're going to cut them right there. About the same length as the other ones. And I'm just going to put them both on this side. And then we'll put one more on the other side. Might have to wrap down a little bit further to get that last feather back in control. It was one to stick out just a little bit too far. Now I'm going to put one. What I should have did was put one on the bottom, one on the side, and one on that side right there. That would have been enough. That would have worked right. So we're gonna cut this one lonely old hackle right here by itself. And I'm gonna put it right there because I can still see a little bit of that hook. I wanna bury that hook. I don't want it to be seen. I'm picky like that. Everybody gets picky when you're tying your own jigs. And that's where I get picky at. On some of them, the hook will show. On some, they won't. Just kind of depends. But when I got a color in mind and a style in mind, that's what I'm gonna do. So I can add this one red one. Not really sure that's what I want to do. Actually, we don't. I don't. Never mind. Let's back up. Let's put some silver crystal flash in it. And anymore, I get this to where it's so cheap. It's actually almost cheaper if you're going to do bluegill jigs to buy this stuff and just make a whole little bluegill jig just out of that flash. It's cheap. It didn't used to be, but now, I don't know. Lure makers got it to where it just kind of, they started making it more in bulk or what it was. And I've never been really skimpy with the flash. And the easiest, like I said, and the easiest way for me to do it is I can get the ends of it even, pull it out, trim it off with the scissors, and then just pick out, 4, 5, 10 pieces, whatever you want, cut it off, and then tie it on just like that. It don't really cost that much anymore. I mean, I was getting like 34 bags of it for like 20 some dollars. It's a good deal. Didn't used to be that way. One pack of that flash would be anywhere between $3 to $15. I've paid up to $10, $15 for that stuff. There we go. We got that done. We got that one tied up. We're gonna get our UV resin. And we're not gonna be cheap with it. I put that on pretty thick too. You can see that drip. It's starting to work around. Let gravity do it. Just like that. I like that color. This is one of my favorite colors on my favorite lake. This color does me well. Blue, white, silver, silver, blue. That's an easy tie. And I've cut a little bit of the cost out of it by not using the Chanel. Not using the Chanel, I can keep my prices a little bit lower than if I'm using the Chanel. The resin, you can find it cheap. You can find it cheap. You can find it really expensive. Kind of depends on you, what you want to pay for it. They all do the same thing. Some do it a little bit slower. Some do it a little bit faster. Some are a little bit clearer. Some are a little less clear. But that's all there is to these jigs. There's not that much to them. When it comes down to color, the way I pick my colors is I just grab some jig heads and think of something that looks cool. I'll go through all my powder paints, hundreds of them, and I'll dragonfly blue and white. I put the white base coat on first and then sprinkle on the dragonfly, blue thread, blue hackle, silver flash. That's how I do it. That's how I come up with it. That's unless I got somebody that's wanting something specific, a certain color, then I'll do that. But if it's just me and I'm just tying just to tie, anything at all, whatever I want to pick. If you want to learn how to do this, want to know my secret to my hackle, hit like, share, subscribe, all that. Comment in the comments. Send me a comment. Let me know. Tell me what you think. We're going to be doing quite a few. I don't know if I can get let's see if we can get the camera back here. That's all what's up on deck for today. So let's just see how it works out. Comment, message, Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it.